Hello, Deborah. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much, Sally. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. It's really great to see you, and nice that you've been happy to get involved with our In Focus lockdown specials. Uh, yeah, and I think this is going to be a topic that people are really quite interested in as well. So, what I thought we'd just start off with is just a little introduction about yourself, how you've come to start off with Henpicked, and what it's all about.
Thank you very much, Sally. Thank you for inviting me today. I'm a big fan of Stick and Ribbon. I'm Deborah Garlick. I'm from henpicked.net, which is a community for women over 40. We celebrate happiness, health and wealth through Henpicked.
Okay. Well, we had some great times, didn't we, when we all used to get together in Nottingham and mull everything over. And obviously, there's quite a bit of story about how Hempick came about. So, and you're one of the founders. So,
I
yeah,
am the
let's hear
founder of
about it.
Henpicked. And actually, when you asked me the other day, when we were talking and you said, where did it all begin? You kind of forget how much has happened since then. Because Henpicked was founded in Nottingham. It was started by a group of people, group of friends from Nottingham. Actually, we all worked at Boots at the time. And we had this idea that we wanted to start a community website for women over 40. The idea being that, you've got Mumsnet, you've got Net Mums, you've got lots of things for mums, you've got lots of things for teenagers, but we didn't think there was anything really for our age group, midlife women. So that's how Henpicked was born. Henpicked, by the way, stands for handpicked by hens. And this is something I found very interesting, is that you forget how long Henpicked's been going. We've been running now for 339 weeks
Wow.
as Henpicked. And the first time we met was actually, I think, at the Authors and Supporters party, because Henpicked was never officially launched. We came up with the idea. We didn't have a website at the time, but we wanted to tap into wise women across the UK. Initially, we started across the UK. And the idea being that if there was something of interest for me or something of interest for one of us, that somebody else out there would find it interesting too. So we tapped into all of the wise women and said, we've got a question here. What do you think about that? What would be your best hints and tips around that? And started to build some articles around it. Now, a lot of people at the time thought we were probably quite posh, because we were saying, we're going to do this website. And they go, oh, send me the link. Let me have a look. Well, we haven't got a website yet. We're just building that. And in fact, we've only got 3 articles, whereas today we've got thousands of articles in the Henpicked website. And then we never launched it. What we did is we had a thank you party in Nottingham to say thanks to all of the women that had contributed articles and had some belief in us. And we switched the website on so everybody could look at their article online, and we never switched it off.
So, as part of Henpicked, how it started to grow, obviously there was one thing that probably kept cropping up over and over again, and that was the M word. And obviously with the target market that you're aiming the website at, it's quite a prevalent discussion point. And I think probably over the last 5-8 years, it's been something that more people talk about now than they ever had. It was a bit brushed under the carpet, I think, before, don't you think? It was a bit a topic, a bit of a taboo issue that, yes, people talked about it, but they didn't really come out in the open to talk about it. So tell us a little bit about how Henpicked sort of went down the menopause route and where it's led you to now.
Yes, it is. For anybody that knows me and has known me a long time, was probably surprised that I talk about menopause as much as I do right now. Because if you'd have gone back to the beginning of Henpicked, I was always the one saying, we really need to cover the new lipsticks, and we really need to cover the products that make your eyelashes grow, and all of that sort of the glamorous side, which was always pulling my interest. I ban the M word, by the way, because for me, it is a subject that time and time again kept coming up as a mystery. to women. Nobody knew a lot about it, and you know, if you codify it, if you call it the M word, then actually that drives the fear and the mystery. I know I sometimes say that. Are you a Harry Potter fan?
Me?
Have you seen?
Yeah, I've watched it. I wouldn't call myself a fan, but
but I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, and I know Voldemort, the evil
yes.
witch. You know Voldemort. Well, those that are afraid of him call it the call him he who must not be named. He who must not be named. Whereas Harry Potter fronts it down and calls him Voldemort, and it starts to dispel the fear. So very much the same with that. So yes, it was a taboo subject. People didn't talk about it an awful lot, and that is starting to change. And so it should. I know when we first had our first menopause in the workplace conference in Nottingham, it was so novel that the BBC put reporters on the streets of Nottingham and asked all passers-by, what's the first word that comes to mind when I say the word menopause? And the passers-by comments were old, past it, painful, hot flushes, moody, all of the negative aspects of menopause. That's not right, is it? But when you start to think about it, that's probably why we don't all say, well, I'm menopausal. That was my description. That's me you were talking about there. And so, you know, it's no wonder so many women don't want to talk about it. But times are very, very different now. If we go back in time around about 100 years, women tended to experience menopause around about 57 and died about 59. So it was towards the end of a woman's life. Whereas today, on average, we will live to be 83. We experience menopause at 51, and we stand a 1 in 6 chance of living to be 100.
Wow.
So we could be post-menopausal for half a century. Imagine that. It's not towards the end of our lives. It's not even the beginning of the end. It's towards the middle of our lives. So the sooner we start to get to grips with menopause, understand menopause and how to manage symptoms, then, you know, it should just be a normal conversation that we can have every day.
Yeah, and I think you've hit the nail on the head there. And it's about understanding it and actually coming to terms with the symptoms that you've got and trying to manage those symptoms so that it doesn't affect your life as much as it probably has done for many, many years in, you know, in times gone by. And it is about, I think, you know what, the interesting thing is that feeling that you're not alone as well. And that it's not just you who's having these things, or it's when you know, now that people do talk about it a little bit more, that you can say, oh, has this ever happened to you? I mean, I always feel that when I get a hot flush, I get a really, really sick feeling beforehand. So I know that it's coming. And I thought when I first having the sick feeling was that I was actually got low blood sugar and I needed to eat. I think I probably put about half a stone on because I was constantly snacking. And then I thought, that's really weird that after I've had a bit of a sicky feeling, I'm getting this hot flush, and then it will sort of, but you know, by talking to people and other people having that, then it's like, oh, that happens to me. Oh, I never thought about that sort of thing. So yeah, it's really good to talk about it. And obviously we have this little beauty to refer to.
Better, absolutely. It's a good book.
Yes, tell us about the book.
Well, the book came out of the Henpicked community, of course, and you were at the workshop that we held, because we noticed every time we published something on Henpicked around menopause that the traffic would spike, and we get a lot of conversations, a lot of comments on social media saying, I don't really know a lot about this, or I'm really struggling with this, or I'm not really getting any help with this, I don't know what to do about it. So when you start to listen to what your community is saying, that's the point where we got to so what's going on? How can this be? It's a natural phase, or it's a phase of every woman's life. So why doesn't anybody know about it? So we brought Henpicked authors together and held the workshop. Can you remember it?
We
talked about the what's your hopes, fears and questions around menopause was the topic that we set. We had everybody on tables discussing them, writing up flip charts, and we came away with the biggest list of questions ever. Can you remember what the conversation was on your table?
It ended up being about sex. It was very funny. Yeah, it was a good fun night, that's for sure. Yeah.
It was a good fun night. Yes, I think yours were, and you were with a group of authors you've not met before, and it was, what's your hope? I don't lose my libido. What's your fear? I lose my libido. What's your question? Will I lose my libido? From your table. So we had this huge list of questions, and what we did is talk to experts in all of the different fields across the whole of the UK, and answered those questions. Then we chunked it up into chapters.
So as a result of this, you've got quite involved in going into different businesses and talking about menopause in the workplace. How many people are you sort of talking to on a regular basis now?
Lots. You're right, because when you said at the beginning around the M word and busting taboo, what we're talking about is a cultural mindset shift, moving from the old, past it, painful towards the end of a woman's lifetime, to actually just having a normal conversation, just as you would around puberty or maternity. And whilst we had the website and we had the books, we wanted to accelerate that change in mindsets, and it's been fantastic to be able to partner with so many organisations. You asked how many. Last year we educated 1,000 organisations about menopause. Well, actually at the moment, because you'd have thought this isn't a good time to be talking about menopause, is it? I
think it's a great time, because from my perspective, I think that a lot of the symptoms are a little bit more highlighted, and people are putting their bodies and their mind in a completely different situation, and whether it be stress related, because I think a lot of the symptoms can end up being worse if you're a little bit more stressed and what have you. So I think it's a great time to be talking about it. And again, people have got time to sit and read a book or be researching a little bit more.
Absolutely spot on. And now we were running a workshop yesterday, and some women were saying the symptoms are feeling a bit better, actually, because when you're at home, you can open your own window. Rather than ask the whole office, does anybody mind if I open this window? Or hot flushes. It's one of those things where, while we're at home, hot flushes might be easier to manage, but as you say, it's the psychological symptoms that so many women struggle with, and a lot of people don't know about. Now, if you're at home and you're anxious, perhaps you may even be in lockdown on your own. Maybe you'll even be worried about, when are we going to get back to work, or is my job still going to be there when I get back? Those anxiety levels, the stress and worry can really start to peak. So it's a good time to be talking about it.
Well, it's been great talking to you, Deborah. I'm sure that there's probably lots of opportunities to do another one of these, because we'll be getting lots of questions from people, and I'm sure that everybody's finding it absolutely fascinating and really wanting to know more. So hopefully we'll be able to maybe do something in person when we get back to normal life, whatever normal may be. But yeah, it's been really, really good. It's been lovely to see you as well. So you've always got a lovely smiley face, and it's lovely.
Inviting me, and please let me know when Stick and Ribbon's opening again.
Will do.
I need some new salsa jeans, Sally Ann.
Okay, nice one. So what we'll do, we'll pop a link on the end of this. We'll pop it to link to Henpicked, and is the book on Amazon as well still?
It is. I'll send you a link.
Okay, well, we'll put that on there as well, just in case anybody fancies buying themselves a lockdown treat while they can, a bit of different reading. Anyway, thanks so much. That's brilliant. Take care. Bye.
You too.